You go. Josh. You go. You go first.
שיר למחלות, אסעין אל הגרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי מעם אדוני, עושה שמיים וארץ. אל ייתן למות רגלך, אל ינום שומרך. הנה לא ינום ולא ישן, שומר ישראל. אדוני שומרך, אדוני צילך, עליית ימינך. יומם השמש לא יכך, וירח בלילה. אדוני ישמורך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך. אדוני ישמור צדקך ובואך, מעתה ועד העולם.
We gather together today as a dear family and friends of Jennifer Porter. As we mourn her loss, must also celebrate the full, rich life she led. Death has taken our beloved Jennifer. Friends grieve in their darkened world. In their silence, there is lamentation. In their tears, there is loneliness. Lost in their sorrow, may they find the presence of loving friends. Hear them, O God, and be with them. For her love that united us in life, and which death cannot sever. For her companionship which we shared along life's path, and which still continues the tenderness of memory. For the gifts of her heart, which brought us joy and happiness, and now become a precious heritage of the Spirit. For all these and more, God, we give you our praise. In his sorrow, Job cried out, Adonai natan v'nai lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai mevarach. God has given, God has taken away. Blessed be the name of God. An ancient people were well acquainted with grief from the valley of shadows. Death and sorrow are not strangers to us. Yet the centuries have taught us that a good name endures beyond the grave. And we find strength in faith. With Job we say, Adonai natan, God you have given. You gave us a loved one who will not be forgotten. For all was good and enduring in her life, we offer the deepest thanks of our hearts. A poem by Kathy Zink. Take time to talk, for you may ask of all things unknown to you. Take time to laugh, for smiles relinquish sorrow and spread happiness. Take time to think, for the realm of knowledge is never ending. Take time to see, for there is beauty in every part of the world around you. Take time to feel, for the emotions of your heart often control the reasoning of your mind. Take time to live, for each day is filled with new opportunities that will be gone tomorrow. Take time to dream, for survival is forever challenging the powers of your imagination. Take time to love, for the sharing of all these things is the true miracle of life. A poem entitled, Heaven's Very Special Child. A meeting was held quite far from earth. It's time again for another birth. Said the angels to the Lord above, this special child would need much love. Her progress may seem very slow, accomplishments she may not show, and she'll require extra care from the folks she meets way down there. So let's be careful where she's sent. We want her life to be content. Please, Lord, find parents who will do a special job for you. They will not realize right away the leading role they're asked to play. But with this child sent from above comes stronger faith and richer love. And soon they'll know the privilege given for caring for this gift from heaven. It's a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream to be. To be and oh to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me. Your laugh once lifted me. Your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love. A holy thing to love what death can touch. Adonai ro'i lo exar bina desha yar bitseni. Amei menachot yinachaleni. Please join me now the familiar words of the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters, and restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. The Baal Shem Tov, the Hasidic Rebbe, once observed that there are three ways we mourn. The first is with tears, the second is with silence, and the third is with song. We mourn someone truly beloved, we experience all three. Tears at first, then silence as our grief settles more deeply, and finally song as we're able to celebrate the memories we hold deep in our hearts. So today is a time for tears as we say our final goodbyes to Jennifer. We'll each remember Jennifer in our own way. Pam and Art, you remember Jennifer as your beloved daughter. Ryan, Eric, and Moran remember Jennifer as a devoted sister. Jennifer is an adoring aunt to Idan and Oren. Throughout her life, Jennifer was a loving granddaughter to Henny and Morton, Harry, and Terry of blessed memory. A cherished niece to Cheryl and Jeffrey, Marcy and Richard, Stan and Paul and Mark, and Jim of blessed memory. And Jennifer was a dear cousin. Jennifer was born here in Cleveland on May 12, 1977, and from the day she was born, Jennifer taught everyone around her a new way to measure success by how deeply Jennifer touched your hearts. Jennifer may not have had the kind of things other people had, but her heart was so big. She had such an ability to give empathy and comfort. Jennifer brought people together. Art truly understands the huge difference Jennifer made in his life. He says he used to be judgmental and thought about where people went to school or how they did in sports. But his daughter taught him what was truly important in life. It took a village, her family, to raise Jennifer. When she was young, Art and Pam said they couldn't have gotten through the early years without Nana and Papa, Pam's parents, Harry and Terry. They were such a part of Jennifer's life, and she was such a part of their lives. Jennifer's aunts and uncles and cousins were a big part of her village, and of course her devoted caregivers. Mary Nelson, who was Jennifer's caregiver for almost 19 years. Mary used to say that Jennifer brought their families together. They became very close and enjoyed sharing holidays and celebrations together. And Gloria Duncan, who has been Jennifer's manager through JFSA for 8 or 9 years. Gloria was the gatekeeper and took lots of extra shifts to keep Jennifer safe during COVID. And the Porters want to thank all of Jennifer's other wonderful caregivers over the years, so many to mention. They all gave Jennifer such devotion and love and they were all touched by Jennifer's spirit. Jennifer loved people, and she loved being aware of everyone's special days, anniversaries, and birthdays. Aunt Marcy remembers how Jennifer would call on August 1st for Marcy's August 11th birthday. Jennifer was completely aware of the day. She just wanted to be the first to wish Marcy a happy birthday as soon as August began. When Jennifer called to talk to you, she always wanted to know how everyone was doing. Your husband, your child, your cat. Do you need anything? Jennifer was always a little caretaker. In fact, when Pam was pregnant with Eric and Ryan, she was on bed rest for 5 months. Jennifer was 9 years old, and Pam was concerned how she would react to the birth of the twins. But Jennifer wanted to take care of them. Jennifer thought Pam had one for each of them. While Pam fed one twin, Jennifer entertained the other, and vice versa. Jennifer could not have been happier. Jennifer loved to attend Ryan and Eric's activities in school. She was like a proud mother, cheering them on. And all their friends, all the boys' friends at school knew Jennifer because she was always the one clapping the loudest, smiling the broadest at their accomplishments. And later, Jennifer's love and caretaking extended to her cousins and her nephews. She loved little children. Jennifer graduated Solon High School and then attended CVEC, a Solon Orange Chagrin Valley Consortium, until she was 22 years old. Jennifer was chosen as a graduation speaker. Through this program, she worked at Myers Apartments, where she put together Meals on Wheels. Jennifer's job was to put bread and rolls into bags. She could do 200 a day. And she walked over to Menorah Park to volunteer in the recreation department and to talk to people. One woman always called Jennifer her granddaughter. A major highlight of Jennifer's life was her bat mitzvah on February 21st, 1998, just before her 21st birthday. Jennifer had gone to a few b'nai mitzvahs and then said to her parents, "Why didn't I have a bat mitzvah? I want a bat mitzvah." So they got right to work. Jennifer studied with Rev Lev at Park Synagogue, and Pam became her primary tutor. Jennifer led all the Havdalah blessings and then called all of her family members up for their parts. Jennifer wrote her bat mitzvah speech, and she said, "I think God put me here to help other people." And she gave examples of getting her mom a cold cloth for her forehead when Pam had a migraine, or visiting her babysitter Patty when Patty's father had died. Jennifer did an amazing job at the service, and it was so meaningful to her and to others. Someone who was a guest called the Cleveland Jewish News, and Jennifer was featured on the front page of the Bar Bat Mitzvah section. A few interfaith families attended. They were so inspired that they joined a synagogue and had their children become B'nai Mitzvah. After the service, they had a party for Jennifer at the Racket Club and hired a music group that sang songs that she loved. Jennifer loved music. She decided to make it a dance party, creating her own dance floor. Jennifer had a boyfriend at her bat mitzvah, another nice Park Synagogue boy, Sean Hauptman, and they also went to prom together. Jennifer loved parties and celebrations. She wanted to be part of everything. You could find Jennifer on the dance floor, dancing with the DJ or in the limbo contest. She was never a wallflower. Jennifer had good friends at Ruach House, Jill, Ahuva, Isaac, and Dov before he moved to Israel. Jennifer loved to go to all their activities and Shabbat dinners there. When she was younger, she loved to go to Community Unity and Yachad, and recently went back to Community Unity because of her relationship with her old teacher, Renee. Jennifer looked forward to going to Cedar Point with JFSA every year. 10 years ago, Jennifer got very sick, but she had 10 more good years since then, but it slowed her down a bit. She slowed down from a lot of her activities, but Jennifer always loved to read stories or strum her guitar or go to Legacy Village on Saturday nights to hear the band. Jennifer was always happy to go out for ice cream at Grader's or Mitchell's, and wherever you went, everyone knew Jennifer. Jennifer was so thrilled when Eric and Moran got engaged. Their plan was just to get married in Israel, but then Jennifer told people, "I'm going to be in a wedding." And traveling to Israel was too difficult for her. So Eric and Moran planned a small wedding here in Cleveland. Ryan walked down the aisle with Jennifer on one side and Grandma Henny on the other. They were both thrilled. When Jennifer was young, she liked to go visit Papa and Nana in Florida. Nana died very suddenly when Jennifer was 10 and the boys were babies. Jennifer kept asking, can't she come back to say goodbye? Jennifer wanted to go to heaven to see her. Jennifer was glad that she was able to tell the boys about Nana when they got older. A number of years later, when her papa was in hospice at home, Jennifer was able to say goodbye. She went and sat by him and took his hand and sang a song he used to sing to her, My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. The next day was the last day he was able to speak. Pam heard him saying, My Bonnie, my Bonnie. He had heard Jennifer the day before he died. Last Friday, cousin Yoni and his girlfriend were visiting from Israel. They had just finished their army service. Jennifer was so happy to visit and see them. They weren't sure she completely understood them, but they said, our hearts connected. That was what it was like to be with Jennifer. So today, the time for tears. We're saddened by the loss of Jennifer. We learn much from her, especially how to care for one another. Let these tears serve to strengthen and uphold you as a family. Tomorrow there'll be fewer tears, more silence. As the Baal Shem Tov noted, it will be a time of pondering, a time of contemplation. Jennifer will become a greater part of our character and our beings who integrate the memories and the values she taught us into our own selves. But finally there'll come a time for song. The time will come we can celebrate Jennifer, we recall all that we learned from her and how she touched each of our lives. May she rest in peace. Zecher Siracha Livercha. May the memory of Jennifer Porter always be a blessing. And let us all say amen. I'd like to share some personal words, some from family members and friends, some personal words from Eric. More than anyone else I know, Jennifer loves celebrations, hugs, and tiramisu. The politically correct term for someone with her condition was special needs, but her consistent focus on the well-being of others was really more about someone special who gives. She was always thinking about others. She made sure to know everyone's birthdays, always had cards and gifts ready, and looked forward to celebrating together. As Mary said, Jennifer brought people together. She enjoyed social gatherings, playing music and singing, often suggesting to host others in her home. Her happiness and her interactions with her nephews, Idan and Oren, was infectious, as their smiles and laughter grew by the minute. We'll miss her bursts of excitement, bouts of laughter, big smiles, and limitless hugs. And Grandma Henny couldn't travel from Florida, but we will read this for her. Eric and Ryan used to have a mischievous smile on their face when they played a game with Jennifer, and Jennifer won. The Porter home was full of love and joy. Jennifer and I used to exercise on the floor, and she was able to do some demanding gymnastics. She knew that my praise was sincere. Pam insisted that Jennifer's bedroom was fit for the little princess. We dined together often, went to restaurants. She appreciated pasta and tiramisu. She volunteered in an elder home where the residents enjoyed her genuine interests. When Jennifer was old enough, her parents found an apartment for her where her caregivers became her second family. They treated her with love. Jennifer enjoyed a life populated with people who cared deeply about her. And from Jennifer's long-term caregiver, Mary. Jen, my dear friend, I've had the privilege of working with you for more than 19 years. What began as a professional relationship blossomed into something truly profound. We became family. You brightened my life with your joyful singing and the way you danced with such enthusiasm. My sister and I were both honored to care for you, and now I find comfort in knowing that my angel in the sky is watching over your angel. Thank you, Jen, for welcoming me into your world and for all the beautiful memories we created together. You will always hold a special place in my heart. Love, Mary. And from Pam's dear friend, Nancy Adler. Our memories of Jennifer go back many years. She was always happy to be part of any activity and often became the centerpiece. One of my fondest memories is taking Jennifer to Thornton Park skating rink in Shaker Heights when I was managing a youth hockey team. We were watching a game between Jonathan's team and another hockey team from the west side. Jennifer joined me in the penalty box to watch the game, the best seats in the house. Early in the first period, the referee blew his whistle, stopped the game, and came over to the box. He looked at me and said, "Nobody under 18 can be in the penalty box. That's the rule." Pointing to Jennifer, he said, "She'll have to go." I looked at Jennifer without missing a beat. She stared directly at the referee and said, "I am 22. The grin on her face and her "don't mess with me" declaration was sensational. It was totally Jennifer. She was truly a force. I also recall with fondness her love of Olive Garden and how you indulged her in so many special occasions. I remember how she loved her birthday and how she would count down as it got closer. Her love and influence on Ryan and Eric was palpable. They went from baby brothers to her protectors. Jennifer was loved by so many people, and she brought out the best in everyone. She will be missed. And now I'm going to invite Ryan to come forward to share some personal words from Pam.
My dearest Jennifer, I'm writing this letter because there are always things that are left unsaid. I want to be sure that you know what an amazing and impactful person you really were, how much we all miss your smile, your joy, and your loving heart. Your 47 years of life were very full. Even when you were young, you used to say that you wanted to be seen. Nothing exemplifies this more than a luncheon we had with Eric and Ryan's fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Deutsch, and several others. There was lots of conversation going around you, and since speaking in a group was difficult for you, you sat quietly for some time. Then you very politely spoke up and said, "Excuse me, am I invisible?" Mrs. Deutsch always remembered that, and today, Jennifer, I want to say, no, you're not invisible. You touched the lives of everyone you met, and most of all, you touched the lives of our whole family. Believe it or not, when you were born, Dad and I were pretty young and only married for 11 months. We were very excited about becoming parents, but we were afraid we didn't know how. Finding out that you had Down syndrome only added to our fears. Thank God for Nana and Papa. They were so patient with me and Dad, and they loved you with all their hearts from the moment they saw you. They told us we had nothing to fear. All we needed to do was love you, and the rest would come naturally. And they were so right. And because of you, we decided to live in Cleveland and have our family be our village. We've been lucky to have had many parents, sisters, and brothers-in-law, both in good times and bad. Jennifer, you taught us much about unconditional love. You taught us that a person is not defined by and should not be measured by grades, awards, or anything else, but by the size of their heart. And Jennifer, yours was huge. You would not let anyone define you by the things you couldn't do, but only by the many things you could. As a child, you loved going to school with your friends and teachers. You learned and loved to read, and because you had such a sense of humor, one of your favorite books was Amelia Bedelia. If any of you need a laugh, you might need to try it. You also loved watching musicals over and over, memorizing songs from shows such as Annie and Pirates of Penzance. You wanted to be part of everything. When I was pregnant with your brothers, Eric and Ryan, I had to stay in bed for 5 months. You were always by my side, wanting to help me. Once the boys came, instead of being jealous that you were no longer the center of our attention for 9 years, you loved them and helped care for them immediately. You sat down next to their crib and read and sang to them, helping me entertain and feed them. You adored them and called them my babies, my baby brothers. And that adoration for Eric and Ryan never stopped. You loved family Shabbats, holidays, and birthdays. You were always up for a celebration or just spending time with our extended family. You loved running with Dad and riding on the back of his bicycle until you got too big. You loved going to camp, first day camp at JCC, then a week at Camp Wise for several summers, until at 15 you went to Camp Limar in the Poconos. We were terrified of sending you there for 7 weeks, and I clearly remember saying to Dad that when we see you on Visitor's Day, if you want to leave with us, we would take you home. Instead, you excitedly showed us around, and at the end you asked if we all could stay with you to share in the fun. You and Ryan and Eric formed a beautiful relationship. They loved you deeply, and they were happy to have you know all of their friends. Their friends began to enjoy seeing you at every school function, cheering on your brothers and their classmates. Thus, the circle of people whose lives you enriched got even larger. I love to reminisce about all of the fun and wonderful times we had together, but life isn't always perfect. You had painful losses in your life, too. First, your bubby Katz, who you enjoyed visiting a few times each week, and your greatest loss came when Nana died. You and she had a special bond. She died shortly before your birthday, but as sad and devastated and shocked as we all were, we still wanted to have your birthday party as planned, to help you know that even in our deepest sadness, life must still go on. You asked, how can I have my birthday without Nana? We finally did. It wasn't the same at all, but you gave each other strength. And of course, Papa's death was another loss. This time, however, you were able to say goodbye and sing a song to him that he sang to you when you were small. In addition, Jennifer, you dealt with many hospitalizations and difficult recoveries over the years. You also dealt with some extremely traumatic mental health issues. You came through all of them with smiles and hugs. You would hug me and say, life is not fair, Mom. You may not have gotten high scores on SAT tests, but you're always wise beyond your years. Because of your upbeat attitude, you were able to love being an aunt for the last 5 years. It was clear that your nephews loved you so very much. When they saw you, they would yell excitedly, "Yay, it's Aunt Jennifer." So my dear Jennifer, I can take some comfort knowing that even though you may not have had a very long life, you certainly had a very impactful one, enriching the lives of all of us who loved you. We will miss you.
Thank you for your beautiful words. Let's all pause for a moment and remember Jennifer in our own hearts. Please rise now for El Malay Rachamim.
El Malay Rachamim, Shachayna Bamramim, Hametzemeno Chanechonam, תחת כנפי השכינה, במחלות קדושים הדהורים, כזוהר גרקי המזהירים, את נשמת יוסף בת אברהם ופשע חנה, שהלכה לעולמה, בגן עדן תהי מנוחתה. Ana baval garachamim, az tirega beseter knafecha leholamim. Vetitzror bitzror achaim et nishmata, adon aigunachalata, vetanuag beshalom al mishkava, venomar Amen.
Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence, beloved Jennifer Porter has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in eternal presence, and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace. And let us say Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated for just a few moments. We'll proceed from here to Mount We'll proceed from here to Mount Olive Cemetery for burial. And following burial, the family receiving visitors at the Porter home, 4125 Cambridge Court in Orange Village, following burial today till 5:30, and Monday, Tuesday, 2 to 4 and 6:30, is that right? 2 to 4 and 6:30 to 8:30 on Monday and Tuesday. Thank you. Excuse my voice.
If anybody is a father, please step forward. If I could ask everyone if you can, please rise.
I lift my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? Make help from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth.
Look to your left.
God will not let your foot give way. You're protected when not slumber. So protected.